Well, look at this. This guy's always on fire when he comes in here.
That might not be a good thing to say now. People can raise money to save me now.
That's right.
Yeah.
Bobby Slayton is in the studio. You're performing at the Punchline in San Francisco this weekend. And 2 shows tonight, 2 shows on Saturday.
Yeah, and I had to listen to 10 minutes of abuse from you guys about how old I am. Because I told you that I remember when this song came out in high school.
Yeah.
And you all get a barrage of old man jokes, which is fine, because I remember when Sgt. Pepper came out. I'm glad I'm old. I'm glad I'll be dead soon, because the world's coming to an end. But, that song, I remember when that song came out, and I remember reading maybe in Rolling Stone or Crawdaddy or Cream, and they reviewed that album, and it said, I love that song by Led Zeppelin, and it said it was a horrible song. It was their faux reggae song, and I didn't know what reggae was. And then I went out and I looked it up, and I had to look it up. There were no computers back then.
Right.
I looked it up in some old parchment, some scroll I had, and then whatever we had back then. And I went and I got an album by I think Bob Marley, and I smoked a joint, and it's all been downhill since then. In 1971.
Downhill.
And by the way, I love coming on your show. I do shows all over the country, and I appreciate you guys having me on. But it's like you should put me on earlier when people are still in their cars listening. It's like, let's put Slayton, let's make sure rush hour's over. Everybody's at work. You know, I got here yesterday, and I'm not making this up. I'm walking down Powell Street, and there's a homeless guy. And there's a whole other story. I don't have time to tell you, but he had your show on.
Yeah.
And I'm going, that's probably the only people listening now are the homeless guy. They don't have money for the Punchline or for fire relief. So basically, there's no reason for me to be here right now, but thanks for having me on. Making me get up early after last night's show, which was brilliant. By the way, I just was on Twitter, and you guys put me on Twitter. Today, it was 16 years ago. Speaking of how time flies, it was 16 years ago today. Put away your phone when I'm talking.
Okay.
It's not texting. What are you, a girl? Bobby Slayton's on the air.
God,
He's abusing the guests in the studio.
You're out there raising money. That's why you only have $57,000. You're sitting here talking for the last 2 hours. Go out there and raise some money.
He's the pit bull. He's the pit bull of comedy. Anyway, people who donate the money he's abusing.
Yes. Yeah. Well, they give you should have a lot more than you have. You've been talking for an hour. You could be at Cake Joe with Ron Owens raising money. Go do something. So anyway, there's other radio stations here. They need your help too. But anyway, so it was 16 years ago today. I saw on Twitter the movie Bandits came out. I was in that movie. I remember going to the premiere.
Bandits.
That's one of my favorite movies of all time.
Yeah, and if you see,
Bandits.
Oh my God, are you kidding? Billy
thought that
Bob
was a
Thornton.
porno.
No.
I'm sure there's a porn called Bandits.
Yeah, there probably is.
It's amazing how many people never saw that film, and it was a great movie.
I own it. I love it. I'll let you borrow it.
You own the movie Bandits?
It's so good. I'm telling you.
Now, what was your role in Bandits?
I was one of the leads. It was Billy Bob Thornton.
Yep.
It was Kate Blanchett and Bruce Willis, and then me, and then Barry Levinson, the director, great director.
Right.
Barry, it was in my contract that I had to be in the credits in the opening of the film, and Barry said it just doesn't work to have your name in the credits. It's going to go Kate Blanchett, Billy Bob Thornton, Bruce Willis, and January Jones from Mad Men. She had a smaller part than I did.
Yeah.
And
but her name was on there.
No, it wasn't on there. It was just those three.
Right.
And then Barry goes, you mind if we just put you on at the end? And I said, no, whatever you want to do. What do I care?
Yeah.
And that's one of the reasons people did not see the movie, because my name was not on the opening credits. But
now, who put you in that movie? Harvey Weinstein?
Well, I'll talk about Harvey in a second.
Oh, here we go.
Actually, it was. Oh no, that's another thing. This is why you should have me on the whole show.
Yeah.
I could have raised much more money than these two imbeciles, and I could have helped you out, and I could have been entertaining.
Okay, there you go.
You wouldn't have to play so many crappy Led Zeppelin songs. But anyway.
Yeah. So, okay, let's get back to the Bandit. Are you done with that story, or you want to talk about Harvey Weinstein now?
I opened up the movie and I closed the movie, and it was just a great film.
Oh.
And I'm in Woody Allen's new movie. It comes out December 1st.
Really?
Yeah. No, it seems like every year I do another big movie, and somehow I wind up back at the Punchline. It's like
you wind up back talking to us.
It doesn't matter how many. I remember I did a movie with Wes Craven. They named me Heckerling, Clueless, and I do all these movies, and then I wind up. It's like the Blair Witch Project. No matter how far I wander into the showbiz woods, I wind up back at the Punchline.
And back in our studio.
and back with you guys. I'm doing a movie with Woody Allen and Barry Levinson, and here I am with you two. Now,
what was Woody Allen like to work with?
Woody was a great guy. I don't know all those stories you hear about Woody and Harvey. You know, I mean, I've had my share of. It's so funny how both Harvey Weinstein, Trump is upset that people are getting down on one knee, and Harvey wants you down on two knees. It's all about. Good night, ladies and gentlemen. Those are not the jokes you hear at the Punchline.
Yeah, those are not the jokes.
No, I would not do that.
You save those for us.
Yeah, I wouldn't even do that Ron Owen show. I saved that for you. I did my own material over there when people are listening, and now that everybody's just homeless people.
Homeless people.
A lot of homeless people now. Those horrible fires. It seems. I had an invitation last night to see Bruce Springsteen on Broadway in one of the preview shows.
Is that right?
Yeah, and Woody Allen's movie. I had an invitation to go to the film festival in New York. The movie opens in December, but there's film festival on Sunday, and I turned down both of those. Not to
come here with us.
To be here with you.
To be here with us.
Wow.
Yeah, to be with you too.
That was a great choice.
Yeah, and I get no appreciation except how old I am jokes. That's just great. Thanks, guys.
You are the pit bull of comedy, though. I
That's
love
what they call me.
Yeah.
Yeah. But you know what? But I hated people before it was hip to hate people. Before Trump. Before any of this.
Before Trump.
I always hated people.
Now, how do you feel about Trump? Now that you brought him
I
in.
don't even.
Come on, I want to get you going here. How do you feel about Trump?
The way I feel about the Nazis and about ISIS, they don't get any good press. It's the Jew fake media. When was the last time you heard anything nice about the Nazis? Never, because the media makes them seem like they're just bad guys. Between the Sound of Music, Hogan's Heroes, you're Nazis, bad. But you know what? If you knew the Nazis, and I'm a Jew, I'm not saying they were great people. But
You're a Jew. Yeah.
Even Anne Frank said that people are good. She was an idiot, but
Anne Frank was an idiot.
people are good. They're not good. You know that.
Yeah, okay.
How much money have we raised so far? We've raised more money
I
than
think
these
since
guys.
you've been here, the total has gone down.
I think people took back their money.
People taking money back.
77948, text in the word bone for a donation. All right.
My God. Anyway.
Yeah.
So it's exhausting being me. 2 shows today. Anyway, Woody Allen. So it was great working with him. He's the kind of director. When I working for him, and if you're not in showbiz, which none of us really are, but everybody wants to work with Quentin Tarantino, Martin Scorsese, Woody Allen. I mean, if you look at the movies Woody's done, he's the best actors in the world.
Right. They all want to work with him. Yeah.
Have been in Woody's movies.
And you.
And you know what? Kate Winslet's in this movie, and I have a big scene with her.
A love scene?
I'll let Mr. Skin tell you about it. Let's just leave it at that.
Mr. Skin.
He'll tell you about my big scene. You're not supposed to talk about Woody's movies. Mr. Skin will fill you in.
Yes.
By the way, I was telling you before we went on the air. So finally I met Skin, and he took me out to another great dinner.
Yes.
When I did Gilbert Gottfried's podcast, Skin came on. Great guy.
Yeah.
Great guy.
Oh, no, great. The Skin is a fantastic guy.
And he found a way to parlay that stupid job of his into a fortune.
Yes, exactly.
I've worked my whole life, just like you guys have, to try to make money, to just get by, to be to be on top of the radio business, to be a stand-up comic. It's great, and you're still working your ass off, and then you get a guy like him who watches movies and talks about breasts, and he's worth millions.
Exactly.
Why can't I come up with something stupid like this?
So now, when you went for dinner with Mr. Skin and Gilbert Gottfried, what was the topic? What I'm kind of curious what a brain trust like this would talk about at dinner.
Well, first of all, let me just mention, I know that Gilbert was on your show Tuesday.
Yes.
On the phone.
Yes.
Plugging his gig right down the street at Cobb's, where I'm at the Punchline. Never would Gilbert ever say, by the way, Bobby Slayton, he's at the Punchline. Don't see
He never plugged you at all.
Of course he wouldn't.
Yeah.
Of course he wouldn't. But I'm that kind of magnanimous guy.
You're not bitter, though.
I talk about Ron Owens on your show. I talk about Lamont and Tonelli on his show.
Right.
I like to bring. I'm very inclusive of all my friends.
You bring people together. Can't everyone love each other?
Every time I come on your show, I mention Skechers, the best shoe company in the world.
Yes.
Because they're the greatest. A lot of those people up in Santa Rosa would have got out of that fire if they would have. If they had Skechers, they would be running away. They would be faster than cars. You can go with those Skechers.
Right.
There's another free pair of shoes I get. So I like to talk about everybody. They really are the best shoes.
You've turned this into a plug.
Yes, giant
plug fest. Yes.
You know what? But it's funny because it's become a running joke that every time I'm on your show, I mention Skechers and they send me more shoes. Yet I go on the radio and I mention BMW and those pricks never send me a car.
no
They're
car
the worst
whatsoever.
People, BMW people.
The worst.
BMW, if you're listening, not too late to redeem yourself.
So what do you drive then? I'm just kind of curious.
I drive a, what do I have? I don't even know. Oh,
you don't even know what you drive?
A Nissan. I don't care. It's a Juke.
Nissan?
A Juke because it sounds like Jew. So I got a Juke. A Nissan Juke.
You got the Juke.
Somebody says you should drive a Jew. I go, what's a Jew? They say Juke. I say, okay. So I just got it. I'm not a big car guy. I don't really care.
Yeah.
As long as it gets me from one place, gets me to the restaurant, gets me to my girlfriend's house, gets me out of my girlfriend's house.
Oh, the girlfriend's house.
Yeah.
What?
You got a girlfriend.
You got a girlfriend?
Well, yeah, I'm not gay anymore. I told you that last time, fellas.
Oh, okay, all right. So now, how old is your girlfriend?
How old is she?
Yeah.
You know, this is really funny. It shows you how old I am. She's really, really young. She's 53. That's really young for me. She really doesn't even remember when Sgt. Pepper came out. I go, you know, she can name all 4 Beatles, and she knows all the Stones, and who plays the drums for them, and she knows what's important.
Yeah.
You know, she's got a BMW, by the way.
She has a BMW.
Because she mentioned the Monroe Owens show. She got one. I don't get one. I don't get a car. But my girlfriend's 53. I think I told you this last time I was on your show. I met her at her husband's funeral. Did I tell you this?
You know what? You did tell me.
Yeah.
You met her. Do you hang around funerals to meet like the widows or something?
One of my best friends for 40 years. He managed Robin Williams, so I've known him since me and Robin started out. I was a doorman at the boarding house. You guys remember the boarding house?
Right, on Bush Street.
940 Bush. And I was a doorman at the boarding house. And Robin was opening up for Melissa Manchester.
Okay.
And my friend Larry was married to Melissa Manchester and managed Robin. This is like years before Mork and Mindy. So I became good friends with him. Knew him for 40 years. And about 15 years ago, he married this woman. And I had never met her. She didn't go to comedy clubs. And my friend, would come see me, and we'd hang out, and I'd see Robin, and then he managed Woody for a while, and Billy Crystal. Anyway, so I'd see these people, but she was always didn't want to have anything to do with showbiz. So he dies 3 months before my wife dies, and I go to the funeral.
Right.
And I'm the last comic to speak. I have to follow all these great comedians, but since I was his favorite comic, his widow decides, good, let's put Bobby on after Martin Short and Billy Crystal and John Lovitz and Dana Carvey. It's like, I know I'm not thinking about my dead friend. I'm going, these guys are doing my material.
Top these guys?
All my jokes are being done. I'm thinking, so it's like going on midnight at the Comedy Store following Leno. I go, I don't want to do this. And I'm stuck at a funeral.
Right.
Everybody's got to pee. It's going on for 2 hours. And so I go on and I spoke at the funeral. Again, my wife was still alive. So my wife dies 3 months later.
Right.
And I call her up because we're neighbors. And 5 minutes away in L.A., that's like next door neighbors. I call up and go, we should just have a drink since we're both.
How long did you wait after your wife died to call this woman up for a drink?
I called her while my wife was dying.
Oh, my God.
Because I said to the doctor, how long do you think she's got? The doctor said, probably a couple of days. So I waited a day. I knew she had a whole day left. No. Why? I can't believe you're laughing at my dead wife. I don't think any of this is funny, but people ask me why I do the material I do. Because people are so horrible. I told you, they just laugh at tragedy. My wife didn't have to die, but she wouldn't shut up. It's like, Anyway. And by the way, looking at you guys knowing that you're married, I can't tell if you're sympathetic or jealous. When I tell married guys, my wife's dead, you go, really? And I can't tell in your head, you go, you lucky bastard. Or if you're going, oh, that's horrible.
Oh, that's horrible.
Mixed emotions. I know. But anyway, so no, my wife doesn't, but I called her up to invite her to the service, and it wasn't to date her. I met her one time. I only met her at her husband's funeral, and I took her out to one of my favorite restaurants in L.A. And I come home, and my brother, who was staying with me, after my wife passed, I said, I just met this woman. I think I'm in love. He goes, are you out of your mind? Your wife's been dead for 3-4 months. And what are you, crazy? And now I'm with this woman.
Is that right?
Yeah, but now, you know what? You guys, being married for a long time, you'll see, you make jokes about your wife's death, but then when you're living in a house by yourself, you don't know when the air conditioning's on too high or the music's too loud. You don't know. For 3 months, I don't know if I farted. I don't think I farted. I wonder if I should see a gastronomics guy, whatever that thing is. I think I have a problem here. But, I didn't know when I had too much garlic, too much wine, the TV was too loud. I didn't know when I was driving too fast.
You need someone to correct you.
My life was spinning out of control. Keith Richards called me up. He was worried about me. That's how bad things were getting.
Bobby Slayton performing at the Punchline in San Francisco this weekend.
All you people who don't have jobs that are actually listening to radio at 10 o'clock in the morning. Who's listening to nobody's listening. But to all your imaginary fans, come see my show.
2 shows on Saturday, punchlinecomedyclub.com. Thanks, Bobby.
Or go see Gilbert Gottfried. He's on the Cops Comedy Club. Go see him.